talk New Year's resolutions. We're a day away from the new year. I cannot believe it. And all we want is to kick it off on the right note. Fitness goals are often among New Year's resolutions. So what can we do to ensure that we stick to these goals throughout the year? For some advice, we are joined by health and wellness expert Ronald Abvajee. Thank you so much for your time, Ronald. We do appreciate it. Many would say that the New Year's resolutions last for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then we get back into our rut of not being healthy and not exercising. What are some of the tips to make sure that we live a healthy lifestyle throughout the year and not just for the first month or so?
Heidi, you are so right. Everyone is on that journey right now of committing to these resolutions. And in 2 or 3 weeks' time, over 92% of people fall off their resolution wagon. And the secret to sustaining healthy habits throughout the year is quite simple. It's literally having the courage and the character with a directive of one particular goal. And when you have that goal, you create micro goals and micro habits and micro journeys, which are smaller journeys, habits, and goals towards that bigger one. And when you do that, victory will be yours with health in 2023.
Well, hopefully it's about the small steps, isn't it? I recently just started a gym, and I can tell you that the one thing that stopped me from starting gym was, what are people going to think? I'm so unfit. People are going to be wondering, what am I doing in the gym? I don't know how the equipment works. Everyone's going to be looking at me. But actually, the reality and the truth is, everybody's on their own journey, and everybody has their own goals, and everybody has their own plans when they are on a health journey or a fitness journey. And that's possibly something that we should also remember when we get into this healthy lifestyle, isn't it? That, you know, my goals might be different to yours.
Without a doubt, everybody's got their own goals. And although it might be, for example, weight loss is relative to you. I mean, for me, it could be losing half a kilogram. To others, it could be to lose 50 kilograms. But when you look at it, Heidi, the one secret I have when going to gym and worried about what people might think is that I take my glasses off so I don't see anyone. I don't see anything. And I'm really focused on what I need to do. But the reality is this: is your goal is your journey. Your goal is your priority. Your goal is all to do about you and what's important to you. I always say your first wealth is your health. And when you are focused on your wealth and your health, you are focused on you. And what other people think, say, or do, all that they are cheerleaders or are naysayers in a chorus of those that just sound like music in an orchestra. So to the best of your ability, ignore them and focus on your journey and your goals. And when you do start any movement or nutrition changes, you know, outside of other well-being changes you might make, always get the input of an expert if you are not sure what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you need to do it. And that way you know that you got expert advice on your own journey.
And I think what's also crucial here is what you're putting into your body. You know, you always say that wealth is your health, and that's crucial because oftentimes we say, oh, I don't want to eat healthy. You know, it's like eating cardboard. And if the COVID-19 pandemic taught us anything, it's that we really do need to look after our bodies and we do need to remain healthy. How crucial is it for us to also eat healthy? It's not just about being on a treadmill for hours on end, but also what we put into our bodies.
You know, what the research has shown us and what COVID-19 in that pandemic era of the last few years has brought to the surface is a new approach to health and well-being. Yes, it's how you move your body. Moving your body is absolutely critical. But what you nourish your body with is even more so, because it's got a lot, you know, deeper benefits. I always say is what you put in is what you get out. And if you're putting in nonsense, you're going to get out nonsense. You're not going to be able to sleep properly, which is an important component of health. You're not going to be able to have enough energy, an important component of health. You're not going to be able to fuel the aesthetic body goals, which is a key component of health, etc., etc. And when you begin to appreciate the nourishment of the body, it's not about a particular diet. It's actually about finding an eating strategy and eating healthier options that suits your lifestyle, which is also your budget. And when you begin to do that, you realize healthy eating is not expensive, not difficult, and it is actually phenomenally rewarding. And when you eat healthy, you find that it's one of the biggest investments into your health and coupled with movement and healthy sleep, you're sitting here as though you've won the health lottery if you can marry those three together.
Certainly, and I'm glad that you touch on doing everything in moderation, because we also sometimes forget about how important balance is, and also ensuring that we get enough sleep. So it's one thing to be at the gym or just to train and get some sort of exercise in, also to eat healthy, but it's also about having that balance and giving your body the necessary amounts of hours of sleep.
Heidi, you hit the nail on the head. And you know, this thing of balance, I actually am going to war with this context because, you know, Myron Golden says it beautifully. You cannot be in two seasons at the same time, although it might feel like it today in Johannesburg. But summer leads to winter and autumn, and one follows the next. So when you're chasing this context of balance, it's two sides of a coin. There's a focus time and there's a balance time. And what you do in the focus time is bring in habits that allow you to focus for short periods of time, a week or two, and then find areas where you invest into balance. And when you balance and focus and find this exercise where it's calibrated, you actually begin to integrate into your life energy, focus, and ultimately performance. You can incorporate high performance, and sleep is absolutely critical. And not exercising for 10 hours a day. All you need is 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. You just need to be mindful of your eating. You just need to be mindful of your stress. And when you begin to incorporate these small habits, I call them micro habits of well-doing, which is actioning health. Hey, you're sitting with a recipe of something that is delicious, tasty, and phenomenal for your entire being on the inside and out.
And it's also about moderation. You know, I often see people saying, I haven't had a chocolate in over a month, and I'm like, but why? It's all about moderation. You know, it's not about having 10 chocolates a day, but having a little bit every day, and that's fine. Just lastly, Ronald, somebody watching this and saying, you know, in the beginning of every new year, I have these resolutions, but I can never stick to them. I always get sidetracked, always get too busy. It's always easier to grab fast foods than to sit and make healthy food, which I would suggest people get an air fryer, because an air fryer is so quick and convenient. But, you know, somebody watching and saying, I actually can't do it. This is all overwhelming. Some advice for them.
The reality is it is a lot, especially if you haven't done it before. It is a lot if you haven't succeeded with previous resolutions. Here's the thing. It takes courage and it takes character. And let me define character very quickly. Character is moving beyond the immediate gratification and the moment of now and sustaining the resolution for a period of time. That is character. And when it becomes overwhelming for you and you can't stick to it, please note that planning is your secret weapon. You said amazingly right now. Get an air fryer. It's a small investment into a long-term gain. Plan what you're going to be eating. Grab a handful of nuts. I'm not saying the expensive ones. I'm saying even off the go-go on the street, you know, you can grab a handful of nuts, keep some dried fruit, a yogurt with you as a snack. But you need to plan what you need to do. And when you begin to plan, you know, there's method to the madness of planning, because you're planning towards a goal. And when you act on that plan, it's not easy. It takes discipline. And discipline is a lot better than having the idealistic thing of building habits. Habits get built through discipline. And that way, small changes every day with discipline and sticking to them, even though you don't want to, will lead to success. I implore you to reach out. There's a lot of experts available, a lot of help available, and free help available to help you see that initial phase of the honeymoon, of being great for the first 2 weeks, into the next phase of 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And when you get to that 8 weeks, you are sitting with the ability to feel what it's like to be healthy, and you will stick to those habits because you are disciplined with them.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your insights. We do appreciate it, and hopefully you got something out of that it's all about planning and sticking to the plan for your own good, actually, at the end of the day. Health and wellness expert there joining us. Still to come.